TikTok. It's time to rock. It's a special event. It's the famous 5 list. I've got to tell you guys, it took me 2 days to compile my list. I have my list. I've got my list. I've got my list compiled, Brad. Mate, you just can't believe I've actually done it. I get home. I'm mucking around at home. I'm doing things, and I'm going, oh shit, where's my list? And this was 5 to 8. 5 to 8. This is, 35 minutes before we're going live. Luckily, Simon, I just work 5 minutes away from home. So quickly shot into work, grabbed my famous 5 list because I couldn't, Brad, I wasn't going to rely on my memory, and I certainly wasn't going to make anything up.
Yeah, that's dangerous, that, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, well, I've got 5 pages of notes.
Oh my Lord!
No, I haven't.
Oh, nothing's changed.
Closely typed 8-point notes.
Good to see you guys for again, something interesting that we do here on our channel, isn't it? We've got the EVH memorial show that we do on an annual basis. Obviously, our Christmas show, which we're going to talk about soon. We've got some opinions to offer about that, and also our famous 5 list, because we did that last year, and I think it was a good topic, and I think a good way for us as a collective, as collaborators, to end the year. So I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Well, I did my list. While I was sitting backstage between soundcheck and ready to play. So I'm like putting it all together. I had it up here, but I thought, you know what, by the time I get home from the gig, organize the show, I'm going to forget it all. So I'm going to put it all. So, technology, there's my notepad.
Oh. Isn't it great that you can take advantage of that, Simon? I love technology too, but, Brad, give me a bit of paper, brother.
Analog.
Give me a bit of paper.
that's called analog.
But, it is too. Yeah.
Yeah. I have mine on Google Docs, so that clearly I could access it from different machines. I know. Yeah. Listen, as befits a man who works in IT, I'm teetering on the edge of disaster permanently with my Google Docs and being able to share it actually. Yes, Google Docs. That's something else that's good that I haven't put on my list.
The Sunday show, the Christmas show, guys. So
yes.
We've got a few people watching, and if anybody is going to be watching this replay that didn't watch our Christmas show, we had a great time. We streamed for just over 7 hours, Brad, didn't we? We had a great time. We had some usual suspects and characters in here, and unfortunately, Simon, we had to cut 20 minutes off, didn't we?
We did, sadly. All those amusing videos that we played at the end. Somebody not only copyright claimed us, they blocked us worldwide. I mean, I was in the middle of watching it, and it suddenly went. I was like, "Where's that gone?" And then it came up. WMG blocked worldwide.
Yeah, I got the email after the Rock Professor. There's a couple of things I want to share with you guys about that if you're thinking about doing your own YouTube thing too. So normally what you could do, Brad, and it's happened to us a couple of times, we've been able to go and edit that out. You can take advantage of YouTube software and either replace the segment with something else or edit it with silence or cut it. But because it went past 3 hours, YouTube won't do that. The show is too long. But I suppose more importantly, Brad, I think the good thing for us is that we have to realise that we can't use other videos to entertain people. If the 3 of us can't entertain anybody, we shouldn't be using other bloody videos.
Well, and the weird bit about that is those videos are not even their own videos. Those videos are parodying other people, the artists' videos.
Yeah.
Now I don't know whether the original, WMG is that World Music Group or something. So do you
Okay,
think
so
the original, like Kiss, actually blocked
no.
us, not them?
No. So it wasn't the music. It was the people who own that channel, Brad. It's that channel who put out those videos. They are the ones who now whoever owns that channel, we don't know. Maybe it might be it might be a recording company or something like that, Simon. But it was definitely that
Well,
channel that blocked us.
interesting,
That's
because
crazy.
WMG is Warner Music Group.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was the 3-letter thing that came up when it was blocked. And I thought WMG, I don't know, yeah, but that's Warner Music Group. So I don't
Well,
know whether somehow Warner Music Group I don't know whether they created those things for a laugh, but they're not. They're just on people's channels, aren't they? They weren't to.
Wow.
I have a feeling that that WMG's Warner Music Group. I wonder if it's the facial recognition thing, and when it came up with the Kiss thing, that's got us blocked. Kiss famous blockers.
Maybe,
I
maybe,
don't know.
but
Anyway.
Donut Man got us blocked too. Yingwei Tingwei got us blocked.
Ingve Malmsteen, yes.
But what's really cool about that video is we've got it on our channel's page. So if you become a member to our channel, if you want to go and watch that last 20 minutes of chaos and craziness, that's the only way that you can get to watch it, because it's a private video. So we didn't delete it. We just
No, you
re-edited
just make it private, don't you?
another version of the video. But Brad, I suppose you know we've learnt a few things. You know, playing music videos is probably not a good thing for us, and also playing other videos too can probably get you into trouble as well. So just be careful, I think, eh?
Yeah,
You need to have a secret channel to test them. Sorry, Brad.
That's all right. It's just turning into a world of things you can't share, you can't have fun, you can't do anything. I say just let us do what we like and all will be good.
Oh, Brad the anarchist.
Yes, Kropotkin, Kropotkin, Prince Kropotkin, Proudhon, Michael Buchan. Yes.
Why is he shouting out all these names? What's going on?
Famous
gone mad.
anarchists. Sorry. They're the ones that you can say on YouTube and you won't get in trouble. You talk about some other anarchists that will, you're out. You're gone, baby.
WMG blocking.
Yeah. And the only reason why I know about these guys too, ladies and gentlemen, is not because I'm doing anything. It's only because I listened to some punk music back in the day, Brad, you know, when punk was always talking about these guys and making references to them. So ban punk music if you want.
Ban punk music. It's too late for that. It's out.
It's out. It's out.
Yeah.
We're counting down to Christmas here, obviously. So this is officially my last work day of the year, gentlemen. I am on holiday for 4 weeks, so I intend to have a bit of fun.
Does your business close up for 4 weeks?
Yeah. Because I work in the trade and supplying the trade. You see, so. You know, for our North American and English viewers and anyone else around the world, here in Australia and New Zealand, Christmas and the summer holidays are together. So you have the Christmas holidays. It's the same in Aussie, isn't it, Brad? You know, if you're working, you'll have a 2-week or 3-week period or 4-week, you know, summer holidays. So that's what we do here, Simon. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Whereas the UK. Keep going. Well, we get Christmas Day. Of course, they don't get Boxing Day in America, do they? They get Boxing Day. And this year, Christmas Day is on a Sunday, so they don't get anything in America.
They get Thanksgiving, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Well, that's only one day, though, isn't it? Americans notoriously generous with their vacation time.
Well, they could have stayed. They could have stayed in the Empire.
They could have stayed in the Empire. All would have been well.
They chose the revolutionary road.
They did. They chose their own road, and look at the trouble it got them into.
No politics. We're only joking, guys.
No.
We're only joking.
It's only talking about holidays, honestly.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm having 2 weeks off, but most of that is out of my holiday allocation. But I do get 30 days holiday allocation every year. So I'm very lucky. Plus the Queen's birthday, I'll have you know, or the King's birthday now.
Awesome. What do we, okay, so we got 12 people watching. Thank you, including ourselves. You guys are fantastic. The Famous Five show. So I'm going to kick off with 5 positive things that have happened to us and the channel here, and and then the Rock Professor's going to kick off the 5 negative, sad, or disappointments, and then Brad is going to kick off the 5 hopeful or 5 great things that we'd like to see for 2023. If you guys want to participate and tell us what you think your things were or what your hopes are, please share them with us in the chat. We'll highlight them, won't we, Brad?
100%. 100%.
Okay, so obviously, I'm going to start off with the first of my top 5 things. And I've picked this in particular, and this list for me in particular, because I wanted to be the first person here on the channel out of my co-hosts to say this. I wanted to get him before the Rock Professor did.
Oh, no. Cross it out.
Because our discussion about it got canned from the show, the 20 minutes that we had to cut out, so we didn't have a record of this on the channel publicly for people to watch and comment on. So the first positive thing that I want to mention and talk about, obviously, is Brad's recovery. From him having a stroke and not being around for a few weeks. And Brad, he can talk about what he went through again with you guys, but it's a wonderful story, and we're so happy because we were so concerned that we couldn't get Brad back. We wouldn't have Brad back as a guitar player. Brad was having problems talking too, and if you know Brad, he takes his health and his being as a man and as a musician, that whole thing's all connected very, very seriously. So bro, I said it a couple of days ago. I want to say it again. I love you. Thank you for coming back and being not only an inspiration for me, and Keith, who said such a wonderful thing about you the other day too. It's just sad we don't have that. But on behalf of a lot of people, that has to be the top 5 on my list. That's my number 1 on the list. Thank you, bro.
No, thank you, Andrew. That means a lot. That's no, thank you. It's a heavy thing that happened, like when I think about it, what I've been through and everything like that, but it's positive that things are just moving forward every day, and backing and things like that. So I appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you so much. And the love straight back to you, mate. It's we're like brotherhood here, even though we're in different countries. It's weird, but this wonderful thing that we've got called the internet has brought us all a bit closer, which is good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Do you want to add anything to that, Simon, before you give us your first top 5?
My number 1 great thing, yes, not bad. My number 1 bad thing of 2022. Before I do that, I'm going to say good morning to everybody in the chat, because we have a few people watching. We have Gret Zeppelin, Hugh Caldwell. We have Johnny Bean, Adam Crofts. We had Arvin, and we had Nelson Rodriguez as well a bit earlier. I saw them. They left some comments. John ZD351. Morning, John. He too is off on holiday on his holidays. Robert Ranford. Morning, Robert. Good to see you. I think those are all the people who've made comments. Hugh Caldwell, who's got like me, off to work later. So good morning, all. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining. It's fantastic to see you. So my number one less good thing for 2022. Well, clearly, as anyone who's watched this channel, there's only one. There's the really bad thing that happened this year is my mum died. Really bad idea.
Simon. Sorry. We're going to go through and do our positive thing
first, are we? Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Starting on the other. Okay, fine. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
My number two good thing is 9K subs from 925 was at Easter. We got to 9,000 subscribers just before Christmas, which is a fantastic achievement for us. I think, fantastic growth, and more people watching our videos and more people enjoying what we do. It's been absolutely fantastic. Roller coaster ride up and down, but mainly up. And I think that's been a fantastic, and it's a tribute to you guys for us for our content. Hopefully people enjoy the content. We have a theme, we have what we do. Yes. No, I'm not, John, I'm fine. So I think that that's been a really important stepping stone for us, was getting over that 1,000 subscriber mark, and it really took off. And we're getting viewers from around. What astonishes me, we get viewers from around the world, all over the world. People watch our stuff, and we get great comments and things, and lots of thumbs ups. So thank you very much all for all of your support doing that, watching the videos, watching us do our thing, and seemingly incredibly enjoyable for those things as well. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
Continues.
Thank you,
Brad.
Well, for me, well, the positive thing for this year for me is I'm back playing live gigs, and I'm not necessarily 100% back to where I want to be at the moment, but 80-85%. I've had a couple of good shows the last few gigs where I feel like I'm starting to get that mojo back, which is it's great. It's it feels good. I'm grateful that I've got the opportunity to go out and play again after what I've been through and health wise, and out of the negative stuff, like good things happen, and it just comes down to hard work and putting your head down, and basically anyone can do what I've done. It's just a matter of staying positive and moving forward, and I'm just in a happy place when I play music, so it puts me in a happy place to know I'm back. It was always a big concern for me that I might not be gigging for a long time or ever. I wasn't sure. So yeah, so that's probably my number one. And are we going through all of them, Andrew, or just
yeah. So we'll go around. Yeah. So well, look, bro, I don't want to cut you off, but thank you for sharing your clips with us on the channel and your pics of your gigs and stuff like that, and and we'll talk more, I'm sure, later on in the show about Brad and his music. Can I talk about my second top five? Okay, my second top five thing is you and I and the Rock Professor coming up with the Zoso show for the channel. I think the Zoso show was a fantastic idea for us, and it's worked out well, hasn't it, when you consider a couple of those videos. Well, all of the videos on the Zoso show have got huge views, and a couple in particular. So And I know that we were excited to do that when we came up with this idea that we were going to talk about Jimmy Page in particular and his we were all excited. We managed to get Alan Garber to come on and contribute to the Zoso shows too. So when I look back and see some of those videos that we've done on that topic in particular, I look with fondness, Simon and Brad. So thank you guys for that segment, that little aspect that we have here on the channel.
That's a great one.
Completely. Yeah.
That is a great one. Yeah.
Funny enough, I too had that down as well. The 13K Led Zeppelin Celebration Day show was just amazing to me that it's got nearly 14,000 views. That video. It's right on the cusp of getting 14, which is amazing to me that 14,000 people have watched something that we did, and it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest. Like that many people, I think, wow, really? If I think about it wrong, but to me that was definitely one of the highlights. The two ones, the nearly 4K one for the second show and stuff. That those two shows were huge highlights, and as you say, Alan has been a part of the Zosso show as well. So getting him on has been fantastic as well. There's a particular shout out. There'll be many, but that was one of my highlights for the year as well. Watching that bound its way past the 10,000 views and on into the stratosphere, because that's pretty viral for us, that isn't it? That sort of viewing figures, yeah. So I agree. That was one of my highlights for this year as well.
Awesome.
Brad.
Well, Andrew mentioned it. You've mentioned it. Actually, it was you, Simon, that mentioned it. The 9,000 subs. It's a massive achievement for the channel, and something that without sort of doubling up exactly what you said before, it's a big achievement for the channel. We went into this year with about 900 or 1,000 subs, I think, at the start of the year. So for a humble little channel like ourselves, and to get that many subscribers is mind-blowing to me. I never expected we'd get to that, and now we've got there. It's a sense of gratitude to everyone who has subscribed and part of the channel. So thank you so much to everyone who has, and it's down to a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and to yourself, Simon, to Hoss, but especially you, Andrew. You've put in many hours on this channel, probably a lot more than Simon and I have. So and your work ethic and work outside of the actual shows has contributed to the growth of the channel. So it's everyone deserves a pat on the back, but Andrew, you deserve the biggest, mate. So congratulations, and it's a big one, mate. So 9,000. I said in the last show, if you remember, it'd be great to get to 9,000 by the end of the year, and we got there. So pretty nice Christmas present for the channel.
Yeah. And thank you very much. That means a lot to me, guys. And the show that we did with Richard Orlando and our Christmas show brought in at least 40 subscribers. So that's phenomenal. But thank you. Really, it means a lot to me that that I too have got the channel growth. We'll talk about that'll be my last point. That I'll make when it comes to the top 5. I suppose Rock Professor and Brad, I've got to mention the work. We've had a lot of guests on here. We love them all, haven't we? We've had a lot of guest hosts come on here. We've done a lot of things this year, and we love you all. But I have to single out, the work that we've done with Robert and Jeff's book. This one here in particular has brought me personally a lot of satisfaction, because I love Fleetwood Mac. I love Peter Green. This channel started. We got Simon on because Simon was an Englishman and he knew Peter Green's music. So this is our bedrock, Brad. You know, this is how we started, and to be part of this is just like a schoolboy dream, Simon. You know, to be part of our channel and what we do here collectively, to be part of rock and roll history is just mind blowing. So again, you know, for us to be part of that and to help Bob and help Jeff and become friends with them, Simon's just mind blowing.
Yeah, has been fantastic, hasn't it, to do that and to be a part of that, and to think that, you know, we were able to, you know, get it out to a lot of people that they wouldn't have got it out to. And I think it's one of those things, isn't it, that is clear that even a relatively small channel like us has quite a lot of reach and quite a lot of, dare I use that, I don't really think influencing is the right word, but saying to a lot of people out across the world, these things are out and available if you want to see them. I mean, I don't know how else somebody necessarily you would have known. I wouldn't have known that the Bob and Jeff book was going to come out if they had, you know, if you hadn't discovered it and bought it through this channel. You know, if I'd just been sitting in my sitting room in in the UK, I don't think I would have known about it, because I've not seen, you know, none of the main British newspaper, whatever publications would have reviewed it particularly. I don't think. Maybe they did get it, but I didn't notice. So, you know, I think that that's a really nice thing that we can do, is, you know, have people on who produced works. And we've had a few of them, and I'll get onto those later, but, you know, and be able to promote those things, and, you know, and say to people, you know, it's not, I don't think we've ever done it in a heavy-handed way. I think we just said, these things are available, you know, if you're interested, you know, and here's how to get them, kind of thing. You know, I don't think that's, you know, to me, that's kind of, you know, not high pressure salesmanship, but and I don't feel that, you know, that I don't feel like, you know, there's that thing about, oh, well, I'm using it, so you should all use it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't feel like we do that. I feel like we're just saying to people, here's a signpost to something you might be interested in. If you're interested in this show, these things, you might be interested in this because it ties into the show. And I think that's really important, is, you know, as we said lots of times, Fleetwood Mac are one of the pillars of our dare I say, temple of, you know, what we do. They are one of the pillars of it. And, you know, so things that pertain to that temple, I think, are, you know, important to us, and, you know, and they're likely to be important to people who watch. Some of the people who watch would be interested in that as well. So, you know, hope that. So I had that down as one of my highlights of the year, Bob and Jeff's book.
Awesome, brilliant. Thank you, Rock Professor. Brad.
Oh, well, on a personal thing, I went and saw Guns N' Roses with my son. So that was a big one. A surreal moment for, you know, an aging rocker like myself to take my son to go and see a band that I saw back in the early 90s. And have him so intently watching and cheering and soaking up the moment. I was living a little bit through his eyes, I'll be honest, through the gig. And we made our way up a lot closer than that by the end of the gig, don't worry. And he started heckling people in the crowd. I'm like, take it easy, son. I don't want to get a head smacked in. But just the sheer joy of seeing him, you know, when Sweet Child had started and his arms are up and screaming and that, and really into it. Obviously, his influence of music is, you know, reliant a lot on what I probably listened to while he was a child, like a baby, and now he's nearly 50. He pretty much runs the music in the household now. So
good.
I don't get much of a chance to put on what I want on, because he wants to listen to Deep Purple, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Stevie Wonder, Led Zeppelin, the Tea Party, the Doors. He just pulls them all out. So, yeah.
Well done, Elvis.
Yeah. So that was a big one. That was a big moment for me, because, you know, Guns N' Roses is a very big part of who I am as a musician, and one of the big reasons why I play guitar. So, because of Slash, but to see my son in that moment, that was a highlight for me this year, 100%.
Brilliant. Fantastic. The next thing that I picked, guys, and I hope this is going to be a surprise for you guys. I went back and I looked at. I didn't watch all the shows that we did. I went back and had a look, and I made a top 5 of the shows, and then I picked one. And one of the favourite shows that I did last year out of all the shows we've done, I've had to pick one, and it was the very first one that we did at the beginning of the year, and it was the one on Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. It was the first show that we did, coming back from a break again. I'm happy to see you guys, and, but I watched that show over 2 days, and it's pretty good. I'm going to go crazy, guys, sharing that show on Fleetwood Mac groups over the next couple of weeks, because we got to get the views up on that baby. We got to get the views up on that one. But I was just amazed with the way that we just fitted in. We dovetailed in. We hadn't done a show for about 4 weeks. We'd spent, months beforehand before we had a break, and it was just like we'd just like pros. We'd come back together, and we'd kicked off the season with a great show. We were on point with the points. I think we spoke about some things that a lot of people didn't realise. We highlighted a lot of good gear things from Lindsay Buckingham's perspective too. So. And that sort of set the benchmark, Brad. That set the benchmark for us, I think, from that show, with trying to talk about gear, and if we could, and highlighting that. So that was a highlight just of a show with the 3 of us. So again, thank you, Simon Rock Professor, and thank you, Brad, for that one.
Thank
Rock
you,
Professor.
Yeah. I think one of the highlights of my year was the shout out that we got from Paul Hamer. That was amazing. Somebody who who's my generation, a bit older maybe, and
Hi, John.
not really had sort of realised the sort of the what we do here and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build up as a library of things, of things about albums that we think are important, that we think are interesting for people. And he completely got it, and gave us a really tremendously heartfelt and articulate shout out to about the importance of the show and what we do here. And that kind of blew me away, really, because it was entirely unexpected as far as I'm concerned. I don't but to get it on that level and understand what we're trying to do, as music fans and things, was fantastic to do. And sort of alongside that, I'm just going to cheap slightly, have 2 things, and also the fact that Mike Vernon has seen the show and likes it as well. That's a big for me as well, big one for me as well, because again, Mike Vernon is another of the pillars of the temple we're building here, producing the Beano album and stuff, and all of that. So that was a big highlight for me, and I if I need cheering up, I just go and watch that, because Andrew very kindly clipped it out. So, you just think, what, you might have a point. We might be doing something a bit useful.
I just want to do a special shout out. We've got Andrick Hernandez in the chat, the Red Special,
Tribute.
Is in the chat. Good to see you.
Yep. Good morning. So that was definitely one of my highlights of the year, for sure.
One of the foundation guys is in the chat, Arvin.
Yes, Arvin, good morning. I did shout out to you earlier, Arvin. I hope you heard it.
Brad.
Well, you guys, you touched on the Zoto show, Andrew, and one of my favorite things that we've done on this channel this year was ranking of the Celebration Day Part 1 and 2. And that, like Simon mentioned, we've got 13,000 views on the Part 1 of that. And that was one of my favourite ones this year that we've done. I've enjoyed every single one of them, really. But that was a special one, I think. And because it was a special moment in history for Led Zeppelin fans, to see them. And touching on the show like we did and discussing the points we did and ranking it the way we did. And I think it was important that we did it for the channel. And I'm glad that it's resonated with so many people. Really, let's be honest, we're just three dudes, like we say every couple of shows, we're just three dudes, stating a few facts that we know that have been printed or whatever, and then giving our honest opinion, and people get into it. So that was one of my positives for this year, was the Celebration Day shows we did. I think in particular the one obviously that is up around the 13K, like Simon mentioned, without sort of doubling up. That's a massive achievement for the channel, and we did that this year. So it's fantastic, really, when you think about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and obviously my last fifth great thing, good point, thing positive, and my co-hosts have mentioned it, obviously, is the channel growth. And a lot of people, and we've said it a few times over the months on the channel, and we said it again on the Christmas show, which got edited out. But a lot of people are responsible for that. A lot of people sharing our channel links. Teresa sharing our channel links. Helene O'Hara back in the day sharing it as well. We've got Arvin sharing it. Gretch Zeppelin sharing our channel links as well. So your mum getting people to join our channel. Brad, it's the guys that come in, the folks that come in here and spend time with us every week. Robert, the new guys, Andrick coming in here, Arvin, who's been here for, Hugh. The list is endless, Simon. It's those guys. It's them that have come to give us, that support. That's just mind blowing, and to have people, think that, as Brad said, three dudes hanging out talking rock music.
No,
again,
completely, absolutely, yeah. It's been amazing, hasn't it? And and as ever, we're built on the foundations of those people who watch, come every week and join in and comment and it's been
Johnny
fantastic. And to get a few people on has been fantastic, like Hugh and and Jim as well. Jim, for Scottish people, and Andy Lakeside Guitars as well. They all came on and did some albums with us, and that's to me is still one of the favorite things about it, is just having those people come on with what they want to do, and we're being able to support that, and that's been fantastic as well.
And they're going to come back on again. Hugh's definitely Hugh is keen. Hugh will be, Hugh's going to come on, and Jim and Andrick is going to come on the channel. The young guy from the Red Special.
Tribute,
not the Red Special podcast, because that's John. Who's Andrick's? All these Red
Special Tribute.
The Red Special Tribute. And obviously too, Brad, the permanent invitation to anybody that's in our chat that wants to come on. If Robert wants to come on, Arvin, if anybody wants to come on, we'll bump any show, won't we, Simon? We'll bump any show, any album that we've got. If someone decides, hey, you know what, Brad, I'm going to come on and hang out with you guys this week. Okay.
Well done. But also, just want to touch on that, Andrew. Like I said before, mate, 9,000 subscribers when at the start of the year we were at 900. So But that's a massive achievement for us. So onwards and upwards, boys. I think we can get to 10,000 now.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
and we'll talk more about that too, obviously. So that's me done with my top 5, and I think the Rock Professor and Brad have got one more.
I've got a couple more.
Yeah.
5.
So
It's an
so the Rock
approximation.
Professor and Brad have got a couple of more points, and then we're going to be talking about the negatives.
Ooh. So another of my positives was like Brad, getting back to live gigs. I did a couple myself, which has been great to get back, and also went to see, and Ariel Posen and Cardinal Black with Chris Black, and my old mates, the Blue Aeroplanes, Bristol's premier art rock band. 3 guitar players, man alive. You 3 guitar players, that makes a noise. It's fantastic to be in that and to get that roaring at you, and they can do it like no others. The Aeroplanes are fantastic at doing what they do. It was a joy to go and see them, and a joy to see Chris, and a joy to see Ariel as well. They were all fantastic. It was brilliant to go out and see them, and also Brad, you getting back to gigs as well. It's been fantastic to see you playing in those amazing theatres, and with literally thousands of people. I can only aspire to that.
Thank you. I'm very, thank you, Simon. Yeah, no, I feel very, very fortunate. I've been very grateful to even get back out, and then the guys in the band allow me to come back only a little while after I had the health issues and stuff. So, I'm still not at 100%. So I'm just really grateful. But thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Oh, it's been fantastic, and also Simon Hosford at the Corner Bar as well.
Yes,
Vicariously involved, part of that, and of course EVH Con, which is not really a gig, but sort of, where we were the official channel for that, and broadcast loads of it and things. So yeah, it's been. I think those have been fantastic things for us to do. Yes.
Can I just so stay tuned on this channel for EVH Con news coming up. Next year we're going to have Jimmy and John Conks come back, and we've got some news. We've got some news. We've got some EVH Con news.
Trailering.
It's going to be broken here on the channel. Jimmy and Conks. I'm not going to tell you. You just have to wait until January.
Okay, boss.
I'll tell you guys.
Brad, have you got anything else, or shall I carry on?
Look, the channel, I think we've pumped up the tires pretty hard on the channel so far. There's a couple of things I want to mention about the channel, but in times of when times of sadness or disappointment, or when you're slightly depressed, sometimes the best medicine is buying things. So I've made a couple of purchases this year, and I'm just that's been a highlight for me as well, which is the Rosewood Strat here in the background, and this one. So yeah, that one, which I've nicknamed. Still got the sticker on it, believe it or not. But so she's a nice rosewood fretboard, and I haven't got a rosewood fretboard Strat until this one. So
wow.
So she's nice and sounds fantastic. But the colours doesn't really show the colour very well, but it's like a honey burst.
Beautiful.
So that was a personal highlight for me. And the other thing I bought, which I used today, was because I do a lot of interstate gigs and a lot of higher rigs and things like that. I got tired of miserable tone, so I thought I would just save myself a lot of headaches, and I've made a travel rig.
Oh,
hey!
So little Helix,
nice.
Just a little stomp box. They call it Stomp XL. And a mini wire on a nano board, just to throw in my suitcase, and off I go. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I tried that out today. I'm new to this sort of technology.
Yeah.
I've programmed up one little board. Just called it BC pedal, so I know what
Yeah.
it is, and
Yeah.
I've got it. So it's pretty much like a Marshall, probably like a JCM 800, a 4x25 greenback cabinet, which is pretty much the tone I've tried to replicate, like my Marshall tone, and then it's just delay and a few other effects and things like that, plus a tuner and all the rest of it. It's all, but the point of it is, like, when you travel and you're going into state, you've got to carry way too much stuff to have decent tone when you're using backline higher. So I bought this specifically just to make my life a bit easier and, be handy for recording and things like that. I still haven't got my head around the software and some of the terminology and the snapshot mode and all sorts of stuff that, and nuts and bolts and meat and potato guitar player. So, but the other good thing is it's got Ampeg bass rigs and all sorts of stuff. So,
Yep.
For recordings at home, it'll be very handy as well. So
Well
it
done.
wasn't a huge investment because I picked it up really good on a Black Friday special here. So, that was a nice little retail therapy, as Adam said. Cheer you up out of the miserable state that you might be in. So why the hell not? That's a highlight for me too.
Yeah. Well, I'll be really interested to see how you get on with that because I've been in that world for a long time. But
keep us updated, brother.
So I'd be interested in that to see how that goes.
Look, I'll be honest with you. Nothing substitutes for a Marshall cranked, like my forum gig that I did the other day. You showed that little video. That tone was sensational for me. It's just playing my guitar, Marshall, and a delay pedal, and that was the sound. But sometimes I've played some marvelous theaters all around the country, and I'm using horrible backline higher that sounds worse than my practice amp, and I've got to get through a 2-hour show like that, and your soul bleeds because you can't listen to yourself play with that tone. So at least this might help me get through it. It was a cheap way to get around that problem I've got. So
awesome.
Anyway,
keep us up to date. And
I'll be interested in how that
goes. Even if we have to go live and do a separate show on Brad's mucking around. I was going to use another word.
Does it rhyme with mucking?
We've already had too many flags on this channel already.
But wonderful.
Mr. Potty Mouth, yes.
Are we finished with the positive?
No,
cool
I've got
things?
a couple more. I got two more. I promise I'll shut up in a minute. But one was a bit like Brad's, really following on from Brad's thing, was that getting both my Strats refretted this year has been a highlight. Finally, kind of biting the bullet, finding somebody really good to actually do it. It took loads of care, and has made my as everyone knows. Where is it? This one here. My what's it? Next year be 35 years I've had this Strat, and it's it's my old faithful guitar, and to have it refretted and in such a sympathetic manner, and it now plays brilliantly as well. It sounds great, plays well, and Hugh Price did a fantastic job of doing it. So thank you, Hugh. You won't ever see this, but and my black one as well also. And he's all fitted up my Black Chapman as well. So they're all playing brilliantly. So I'm really pleased that went really well, because I was kind of wary about it and worried about it, and worried about how it was going to do, whether it was going to be all right and stuff. But this is a fantastic job. Rolled the fret ends just right, set it up just right, and it sounds fantastic. And there's
beautiful.
So well, it's what it's like, Brad. They're your babies, aren't they? It's kind of it's like I was sending it off to somebody. I didn't send it off, by the way. I took it in person. although Hugh lives 70 miles away from me, he said, "You can post it to me." No, I can't. He had to. I don't know if you heard of a blues player called Ainsley Lister. Ainsley Lister's quite a well-known British blues player. Hugh had one of his necks. He just sent it in a cardboard tube. I said to Hugh, "If you think I'm doing that, I remember 34 years, must be blooming joking. That's not happening. I'm turning up with it wrapped in cotton wool in the back of my car, handing it over like the Holy Grail." So I've been really pleased about that, the way that's gone. And, you know, it's sort of it's just been great to get them back, and they play better than they did, because they got some frets back on them. But also he's put proper. I just went for the he's quite traditional, Hugh. So there's none of your tall frets and that. They get what they had before. So the vintage frame frets, and that's clearly the right choice for it. As a mature instrument.
Awesome.
So that's been fantastic, and I don't think. I mean, I made some notes around. I, like you, Andrew, went back and looked at all the shows, and the amount of people we had on is just amazing. That I made a. I'm not going to read them out, but the number of musicians and authors and general YouTubers that we had on. People, it was just it must be 50 people we've had on. It's amazing the amount of people we've had on, all different walks. We've had the musicians like Zach Zedro and even Tommy Emmanuel and stuff. That was people like that, and we had Jerry Pantazis and Jason from Simon's band talking about, and we've had Steve Rosen and Richard Orlando and Jeff and Bob on the books, and it was just brilliant. The breadth of guests we've had on, the breadth of experience of those people, and what they've done, and my old adage, everyone's got a story, has been so proved by the number of people we've had on. So thank you to everyone who came on, contributed to the growth of our channel, and and it's been a fantastic year for that. All those people who came on. So and hopefully we gave a bit back to them for in terms of what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to do, and I think we probably did. So that is one of my big highlights of the year. And then Jeff sending Andrew and I the pictures, that picture of Peter Green with his thing, that was a highlight as well, so that's really cool. And Holly's crazy picture of me with my iPads in my eyes as well. It was lovely too. So yeah, that's some of my other good things. Apologies for having more than 5, but I had more than 5.
Someone's taken a big bite of the apple. Shit, if I knew it was going to be a 10 list, I would have done 5. I would have taken 4 days to do this list, Brad, instead of 2 days.
Simon's taking one for the team, mate. He's taking one for the team. He's just getting it all out.
Thank you, Simon, for that. That's a wonderful cap off, I think, for the channel. To talk about the people that have come on here and the diversity, but also the tightness, the interrelatedness of everything. It's not, we don't do shotgun stuff on this channel. We kind of keep it, and I like that personally. I think that's good, and I think that seems to be what people like. We're not all over the place, and yeah. That's what we're about.
Yeah,
Simon, your first sad disappointment or negative thing?
Well, as I said earlier, I've let the cat out of the bag. Clearly, the really bad thing that happened this year was my mum dying 2 months ago.
Rest in peace, Mrs. Williams.
She 87. She had a long and interesting and life, and affected a lot of people. And so we had over 200 people at the funeral, and that was a tremendously cathartic experience. And they all had. She touched them all in kind of, not in a kind of fame thing, in a very low level human way as well. That was that proves to me that human interaction is a really important thing, just helping people wherever you can, and with whatever you've got. So she was a tremendous example and remains a tremendous example. And we're having our last family Christmas together, starting tomorrow. for a week in Devon. So where we all get together, which we've always done because my mum's always sort of made it happen. So we're going to go and raise a glass to her and have a jolly week remembering her and having a laugh. But that's my number one bad thing. I did go to, yes, I've actually put down funerals as my, because I've been to more than one, which is not a very good idea, and I don't recommend it. But an old friend of mine died as well this year. So yeah, that's my number one bad thing. Don't do
Brad?
it, kids.
Yeah, that's very sad, Simon. And as you know, we alluded to when it all happened, you know, we're very sad for you, and you know,
Yeah.
hopefully she's resting in peace, and we are extremely sorry for your loss, mate, 100%. And much love and whatnot to you, and warm thoughts and that to your family. So hopefully
Well, the
you can.
support here has been lovely. You know, all the people who, you know, you don't know, all the little messages that people sent me, and all, you know, the people in the chat. So, you know, it all is all a positive thing, you know, in that time. And I thank everybody for their messages, you know, because
Well done.
you know, any message is a good message as far as I'm concerned in these circumstances. And so everybody, you know, has been fantastic. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that's good. That's me, Andrew.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty obvious, and it was a fairly big impact to my life, which was having a stroke about 7, maybe nearly coming up to 8 months ago now.
Yep.
That was a really big blow. So, you know, I had a lot planned for this year and whatnot, but you know, without sort of being too negative and down, you know, the positive is like we went through a bit earlier. So, you know, on the road to recovery, and I think it's, you know, unfortunately I'm impatient and I want to be back to where I was 8 months ago, pre-stroke, and I beat myself up. And I'll talk about it a little bit more as we, you know, go around to talk about the negatives of the year. But you know, I'll elaborate a bit more. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, I'm a pretty impatient person. I like to jump on things and get things done. I'm a bit of an achiever. I like to set goals and go after it. And but you know, hasn't even been a year yet, and you know, I was back at work after 2.5 weeks, like working my day job. I was back gigging after a short period of time as well. Not running on full, you know, 8 cylinders, but enough to get me back on stage and playing. So yeah, that was a big one, big negative for me.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Sorry, I was just looking at the comments there. Bye, Hugh, if you're still here. Sorry, Hugh.
Yeah, have a good day
sorry.
at
work. Take care. Take
Christmas.
care.
Yep.
Thank you for your support. Wonderful support. Go and check Hugh's channel out, ladies and gentlemen. He does some fantastic
Cool
stuff on his
He does.
channel. Go and check it out. My first gripe of the year, Brad and Simon, is nothing from the Van Halens. Nothing from the Van Halens. No remixes, no remastering, nothing. Bugger all, zip, zilch, nada. Come on, Van Halens. Come on.
Yeah.
Other artists, other bands throwing stuff out there. They're turning it up. They're putting it out there. They're turning it into gold, Brad. Rock and roll and Simon. Rock and roll is a business. We know that. You know. The demographic of the people that are Van Halen fans, Brad, have shitloads of money to spend, Brad. You know what I mean? You know that guy. You know what I mean? It's they'll buy, you know, these repackaged box sets or what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is really interesting, that, isn't it? That they haven't. That, you know, there seems to be no plan around the curation of the heritage, if you like. You know, it's of that as a thing. There's a really good book by a bloke called Eamon Ford about the curation of dead rock stars' estates and things, which is a lesson in there for for lots of things.
Robert is right. That's the hashtag there that we've got to be
Release
thankful
the
for.
5150 volts.
Keith Campbell's release, the 5150 volts. But yeah, just a gripe, and I think probably, Brad, I'm going to be griping about that for the next couple of years, maybe, bro. I don't know.
Unfortunately, it's in true Van Halen tradition that things take forever in that camp. Even when Ed was alive, it just seemed to be, and it's come out since he's passed, unfortunately, that there's, people move pretty slow in that camp, and to organise things seems to be extremely dysfunctional. So I don't know who's at fault for that, Andrew, with your gripe, but I dare say a lot of it falls back on Alex. And, rightfully so, if he decides not to do anything for the interim because he's still mourning, I understand that. But like you said, the rock and roll industry is a business, and for the fans that supported Van Halen for their entire career and put them in the place that they are, release something for us. It's not. We'll buy it. We're not saying we won't buy it, but it doesn't have to be for the mainstream non-diehard Van Halen fan. It's for the Van Halen fans that live and breathe everything Eddie Van Halen. They read every little notational book that's something related to Eddie now that he's passed. There's some wonderful publications that have come out since Ed passed. I mean, we're all fans. I mean, look, so it's funny, and I understand that the position that the family's probably in. Alex is still probably, going through that thing of, I can't go through the vaults right now. It's too soon. Well, I understand that, but I believe that there were things ready to go, box sets ready to go, and things. Maybe trickle some of that out at least for the diehard fans. If not anything, just remaster the Sammy era for us to start off with. Give us something like that, a box set with maybe better mixes of OU812, and I don't know, that's a starting point, but that I'm just sort of capping off what you were saying, Andrew, is Van Halen camper renowned for being a bit slow. They put things on ice. They did it while Ed was alive. Obviously.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, because I know that it's the estate's probably now controlled by Alex, who is Eddie's brother, and he had a lifetime with Ed, and unfortunately now he doesn't. So he's probably still suffering to somewhat. Can't listen to the music, maybe, we don't know. But for God's sakes, get something out, please.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it is one of those things that is a kind of, that takes on a life of its own, isn't it? I'm not sure Alex necessarily has to do it himself. You have to get somebody you trust to do it. But I think there are plenty of examples of people doing it with integrity and things. The Bob Dylan bootleg series, which is up to volume 17. Which is a kind of minority interest.
Simon, I think that the hard thing is, everyone's acknowledged in books and publications and whatnot that Alex is like the gatekeeper of that vault now.
The keeper of the flame. Absolutely.
Even Wolf has said that's completely up to Alex. So now all we can hope is a bit of time's passed, and Andrew, you'll get your dream. You'll get some Van Halen.
Cheers, Rock Professor. What's your next gripe?
My next niggle.
Sad thing.
My next niggle is the Ticketmaster ticket debacle, of which Bruce Springsteen was an example. I'm afraid, my hero. Where they, if there's tremendous demand for tickets, then the price goes up exponentially. So people ended up paying thousands of dollars for tickets that should have cost $200, because they've got this kind of algorithm things that says, oh look, there's high demand for this, we'll put all the prices up. which I think is a bloody outrage, frankly. You know,
Yep.
it's for us as fans. I think there's a, you know, it's a you know, those Ticketmaster things, you know, you pay money to them for, you know, for booking fees and all of that. So, you know, but they're just putting it up all the time, you know, because clearly there's a demand and there's a pent up demand for, you know, for live gigs and things. And I think it's, you know, people end up paying thousands of dollars for tickets, you know, when actually, you know, the ticket price is $200 or whatever, $150 for them, you know, and I think that it's that's been a really bad example of you know how to treat the fans really badly and just, you know, make a load of money. You know, Bruce Springsteen doesn't need the money. He sold his you know, his thing to Columbia for $500 million. He's got a pile of money so big it can blot out the sun. You know, so yeah, that Ticketmaster debacle is one of the things that, you know, was a really bad thing for us as fans.
Yep.
Yeah. Brad.
My gripe, one of my negatives here is the fact that, like we just discussed a bit earlier about the Christmas show, you know, got blocked. And with YouTube, like, I would love for our rankings of the tracks to be able to play a little sample. It's not like we're doing anything on this channel that's going to harm or hurt the artists that we're talking about. If anything, it's only going to cross promote for them.
Yeah.
I find it a little bit disheartening that the copyright laws are so strict on YouTube. I understand why they do it, and you know, but for a show like this, it's not like we're trying to capitalize off their music. It would be lovely to, you know, play a 20-second snippet of part of the song so people, you know, get in the vibe of the song. That would be something that I would love to do on this channel. Would be, you know, I think we did 1 or 2 shows, Andrew, where we played little snippets of the song before we ranked it, and we got flagged like 1 billion times.
That was Blackmore. That was Bam.
Yeah.
Baker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bruce and Gary.
More.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, you know, people say it to me. My father's brought it up because it's a pity. Like, people say it to me, and that's you know, I don't know. I think there should be a little bit more of a, I don't know, a category or a breakdown or a filter or something through YouTube that allows channels like ourselves to do that. Like, we're not trying to push our channel to get subs by pushing other people's music and claiming it as our own. We're doing it as I don't know. Thanks,
Brad
Sean.
Beto.
Brad Beato, yes.
Honestly, it just bugs the hell out of me that we can't get. I mean, it's great that we can show pictures, but yeah, that
For how long? For how long?
That's what I was about to say. And
yeah.
But anyway, YouTube's a community, and it's more than just playing the music. But that's one of my gripes, guys. I would love to be able to go, this is my favorite bit of Burn off the Burn record.
Yeah, listen to this.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great, Simon? Instead of showing picks on one album, we've picked our favorite guitar solo off the album, or the drum intro. Wouldn't it be great? You know, like the first time you heard this drum intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam's brought up a interesting point there, and it's something that, you know, the rock professor's brought up before. I mean, we're raising the profile of a band that may not have been acknowledged for a while either. Like, you know, we're touching on albums that, you know, people might not have listened to for a long time, and it just reinvigorates the interest of that artist. I mean, we've got 9,000 subscribers to the channel. So say we push, you know, a Gary Moore record or something like that, then the estate gets acknowledgement for that.
Yeah, a few plays, yeah. Oh, Keith Hartley, you know, Keith Hartley Halfbury got 900 views, kind of thing, 150 views. You know, it's kind of, some people will have gone and listened to that album. So you're absolutely right, Brad. There's a positive economic effect, you know, that we have of people going to listen to it. Hopefully, you know. back of our show.
That's my gripe, guys. Second one.
Okay. I'm gonna combine my second and third negative or sad thing of the year. Clearly, the passing of the rock professor's mum, but I'm going to link that also with the Queen of British Electric Blues as well. The passing of Christine McVie. You know, we were lucky to see her, you know, on this DVD that we've spoken about here on the channel a couple of times. I do look forward to us picking a Chicken Shack album, or even a Fleetwood Mac album that she did, say, with Danny Kerwin, you know, Kiln House or Bare Trees. Yeah, you know, I do look forward to us doing something like that in the new year, in homage to her. But the passing of Christine McVie, out of all the artists that passed this year, Simon, is just one that I'd like to single out, and obviously your mum too. Rock Professor.
Yeah. Well, I'd echo that. I think, you know, that I made a note of a few people. Christine McVie, I think Wilco Johnson as well was another great sort of R&B guitar player from the UK. So we need to do some Dr. Feelgood, and various, you know, Ronnie Hawkins, Taylor Hawkins. I like the symmetry of that, and we're going to do him, Kim Simmons from Savoy Brand, and we're going to do that in a couple of weeks.
That's first show locked in, and the Rock Professor's going to lead that one.
Yeah, going to lead it. And also, I'll make another personal thing for somebody, Dave Nesdell as well, who died this year. One of the pillars of this little community as well. So I'm going to give him a mention too, because we did a show for him with Ty and Ty Price and things. So yes, so I agree with you. Andrew, you know, all those people who left us, Gary Brooker, etc., Ronnie Spector, all these great artists who left us this year. That's a bummer. Brad.
Right. Yeah, look, I'm, you know, sort of without repeating what you guys have said, I put one of the sad things of this year was the losses that we've all accumulated through this 2022, including your mother, Simon, and Taylor Hawkins, Christine McVie, all the people that you mentioned, Simon. So I don't want to double up on that, but it's a very sad thing to go through, and you know, but you know, hopefully on this channel, with the musicians at least, we can, you know, their legacy can be touched again, and we can discuss the music that was important, and honor it the way we should, and the way that people should.
Well said.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well said.
Well said.
Andrew.
Is it me? Yes, it is. I've got two more things. My second to last thing. I'm disappointed that we didn't get a DVD or a Blu-ray or a digital download of the Get Back series that we did not last year. Not this year, that last year, didn't we? We did it last year, towards the end of last year, because I was going to put that down as one of my favourite shows for this year. But then I had to go back and realise, actually, shit, that was last year.
More than a year ago already.
Yeah. So, still one of my favourites, and I've had some work colleagues who have watched that show in particular and who have been Beatles nuts, not really necessarily blues nuts, but Beatles nuts, and they go, Andrew, I had no idea you hung out with guys who knew shit. You know, we know that you're thick as shit, but you know, you hang out with guys that actually know some stuff about me. You know, so you know, these are friends of mine, ladies and gentlemen.
Very unfair. Tell them.
But it would be nice to have a DVD or a Blu-ray, Brad, or even the digital download where I can download it on my iPad and just have it when I want, rather than have to pay the monthly subscription on Disney to watch it. That's a gripe. Rock Professor.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. My second to last gripe is that slightly the Bob. Did you see this? Is quite. I find this quite amusing. The Bob Dylan auto signature debacle, where quite a few people, a few hundred people signed up, paid $900 to get a signed copy of his book about songwriting, songs and stuff, and only to discover that that they'd used an auto signature machine. So basically, they got a machine to write the signatures in, and he had to issue an apology. Clearly, and I think they got their money back from it, because clearly he hadn't sat down with a pen and signed them, and that's what people have paid $900 for: man, pen, paper, and they hadn't got it. So his Bobness had to give it back.
Wow.
Good on him.
And apparently,
good on him.
Good on him for doing it. Yeah, no. I mean, I think they did the right thing in the end. But I mean, apparently, it's quite common, that people, signatures and things, especially in the art world, not necessarily actually signed by the artist, but clearly it's their signature, because but it's auto-copied, and a machine does it, not the actual artist.
Yeah.
Does that make it less real? Oh, yeah. So anyway, yes, that's my gripe. One of my other gripes for this year, quite an amusing one, but.
Sorry for interrupting, Brad. John's just saying that he saw Blu-rays for. Are we talking about the Get Back film?
Well, I was going to say, is that the original one? Yeah.
We're talking about the one with Peter Jackson, the edited one. So, okay, that's interesting. We might have to do some research on that.
Let's have a look.
Oh, he's put a link in. Okay.
Consumer advice. Coarse language. Release date 9th of November 2022. So I don't know what that is. No.
So it's available in Aussie.
Well, possibly.
Okay. All right.
Label Walt Disney. Yeah, label Walt Disney. Yeah, it does look like it's a new thing. Yeah. Follow the link. And it will be.
Okay. I'll check it out. Brad.
I was just looking at the link that John sent through. But that's no. I can't. It doesn't say whether it's the full series.
Does it?
Doesn't really, and it's pretty cheap Australian dollars if it is the full.
Wow.
Series. Anyway, we'll have to look at that and work that out. But
Okay.
I just looked at it, John. So thanks for sharing that. That's certainly cleared up one thing for you, Andrew, with your gripe.
Thank you, brother. You're next on the list. You got a gripe.
Yeah. I guess a big one for me this year was, losing work and performance work. I was unable to work, and the effects that had on me. So yeah, that was a pretty sad sort of moment for me after having the stroke and realizing that I couldn't do what I was doing and whatnot. So that's a big one for me as well. So Andrew, on to you, my friend.
My last gripe, and please, my co-hosts, don't get upset with me with this when I say this. I'm going to be very nice and diplomatic about it, and I won't name any names, and I don't want us to dwell on it, but I just want to say this. The few people that we know who've put up obstacles in our way on what we've tried to achieve here on our channel over the 12 months, that was distasteful, because I've never done anything like that individually, and that's something that we've never done here on this channel collectively, to do anything like that. But the situations that we had, and we don't want to talk about them here, but I it's something, and we're not making this up, but we just, I think Simon and I and Brad, and Hoss, we came together as a collective, as collaborators together, and got tighter because of some of these issues that we had to deal with behind the scenes. And yeah. But that, nevertheless, you know, was pretty sad. You know, it was a sad situation because all we want to do here on our channel is just do what we do here and talk about what we talk about here, and we've never wanted to go out and put targets on anybody else.
Well
No,
said,
Simon.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, yeah.
Well said, Andrew, because I just
Yeah.
want to quickly elaborate on one thing. In a lot of that hoo-ha that was going on, we made a decision on the channel to just be very diplomatic and not get involved in any of it. But at the same time, I don't think it was very nice. And I'm just elaborating on that, Andrew, on what you were saying, singling people out and saying lies and things that weren't necessarily in any way, shape, or form true. And I know that your name got thrown around a little bit there, Andrew, for a bit, like we all discussed. And just in your defence, I know full well, I know you so well now that you've never done anything. If anything, you do things to help people, and you've proven that time and time again. So, without sort of going on about it too much, the proof's in the pudding, Andrew. You help people, you want to help people. And with anything, you're so pushy to help people. So I couldn't imagine you doing the opposite. So,
Thank
and
you.
I know you so well, mate. So I just needed to say that.
Appreciate it. Means a lot to me, brother.
Yeah.
Rock Professor.
Simon.
Right. Sorry, I'm just mucking about. Looks like there is. My last thing is my last gripe is YouTube weirdness over numbers and views, and the fact that they fluctuate around like a sort of wild thing. I don't understand. You know, we get a load of views and then they knock a load off seemingly arbitrarily, and then they knock a load of. We get some subscribers and then they knock a load off and things. And I worry about the stuff, the big machine of YouTube just kind of doing stuff behind the scenes that's not very transparent. Maybe it is bots, maybe it is other things, but I just it sort of freaks me out a bit that these things are happening out of our control and out of like our Christmas show got blocked. We lost 350 views from that.
Brad, we had 350 views on and 45 thumbs up on that show
And it all gets
blocked.
blown away,
Yeah.
because somebody blocked it and stuff, and it just
Hey, Alan.
Yeah, morning, Alan. And that's one of my gripes from this year, and I don't understand it, and I think that it's we're the ones who suffer, and for us 350 views, and the chance to get it promoted elsewhere. I mean, that's what those things mean. You get 350 views in 2 or 3 hours after shows happen, it gets, they'll promote it more, but then it just gets off at the knees, that 24 hours that poor old Andrew had to sit there going,
we don't have enough dancing girls on the channel. That's the problem.
That's what it is. Right. More dancing girls. That's looking forward to 2023. What I've got it as number one.
Yeah. Well said. Nice to see Alan in the chat. Brad, my friend, brother, you have got the first kickoff with the 5 hopeful things.
Have I done my 5 negatives though?
I thought you had one more.
Oh, sorry. No, give it to me. Give it to me, baby.
I don't have to do the negatives because I'm not big on negatives anyway.
No. If you've done a list, give it to us.
Well, obviously, the second thing to having a stroke was, having to learn to reprogram my neural pathways again, to be able to play guitar. That was something that, and I'll share it because I want to put a positive spin on it for people that might be going through certain things. And this is why I'm talking about it. And that's why I've been pretty open about and sharing a little bit about my experience with this, because I want to encourage people, whatever you're going through, you can get through it. You know, you will get through it if you stay positive and work towards like small steps and small goals. For people who didn't know, I had a stroke. I had to learn how to basically hold my guitar pick again. I couldn't hold it like that. It kept dropping like that, and I couldn't identify guitar strings. My hands were not able to do it. I still suffer a little bit. My right hand, especially with it's like a numbness, and it's buzzy sort of. I can't describe. It's numb. Sometimes it's worse than others when I'm tired. I get a bit slurry with my speech when I'm tired and things, but it was worse. So I had to basically sit and you know, sit there and just mute the fretboard strings and go low to high, high to low, like alternate picking, like for hours in a day. And then as soon as I started being sloppy with it, I would stop and come back later when I rested, because I didn't want to practice bad technique. So I just started doing little small goals every day. I will admit, the first day I came home from hospital, I picked up my Les Paul, and I struggled. I picked it up, and I had a meltdown. I broke down. I literally had a breakdown, because it was my worst fear realized that I couldn't actually play guitar. And the reason I'm making this dramatic is because that's what happened. And then the next day I woke up, I said, I'm not going to let this thing beat me. I'm going to beat this thing. I'm going to strangle it. I'm going to work towards getting back there. Instead of setting unrealistic goals, I just started, well, mate, by the end of this week, I want to be able to start picking again better.
Yep.
And the thing was, it was just reprogramming my brain to do the pathways to my hands properly, where my head knew what to do. And it was so frustrating. I nearly threw my guitar that many times, where your head's telling your hands what to do, but your hands aren't doing it. I can't describe how frustrating that is to people unless you've been through it yourself. Knowing the ability I had before that, and then having to work towards to get back. It's been a long road, but you know, without sort of blowing my own trumpet or whatever, it's not that I'm doing that. I'm just saying I also did was small little steps each week, and I let go of certain things in my life to just focus on getting better, and you know, working on that. I'll be honest with you. I went through some mental health issues. Like I just started getting depressed and whatnot. But it's not a bad thing. I've spoken to people, and it's all expected in these sort of things. It's like you've got to understand that these things happen. When you can't do certain things that you did before, you will get depressed, because it's going to happen. But the positive spin I'm going to put on it for everyone is, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So if you're going through something at the moment where you're struggling, or something's restricted you in any way, shape, or form, just make those little adjustments and work each day. I know there's certain things that can't be rectified, but for the most part, you know, just stay positive. And it's amazing what magic can happen when you do stay positive and try not to sink to that lower, you know, that deep, dark place that your body wants to take you. So stay positive, guys. And that's how I'm going to finish off my negatives on a positive. So
well said.
Good work.
Well done.
Yeah.
Definitely inspirational, Brad, for sure. That
thanks,
never say
guys.
die attitude. Yeah.
Look, and to be honest with you, the support that I've had along the way has kept me positive, especially you guys, the people on the channel, the private messages I got from people on the channel, the private messages I got from people that listen to my music, the private messages I got from, you know, the community, the friends, the family that all, you know, pulled close, which was, it's amazing. And it's, whenever people are down, you have to step in and be there for people, because that, it can be the turning point for someone. I'll say it like that. So, yeah. it can be that turn. It could be the one thing what someone will say, "Oh man, I know you can do it," blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden it gives you a bit of inspiration to keep going. So uh, anyway, that's I just wanted to end on a positive with the negatives, guys. That's the point of it. So
No problem, and you've done well. So so you're starting off the first round of the positives.
yes. All right. Well, the positive part of it now, and the biggest one on my list now is growth of the channel, continue to grow the channel, try and contribute as much as I humanly possibly can to get the channel, into an even bigger and better audience. And not saying that the people in this audience are bad. You guys are freaking amazing. But if we can get in the views of some other people that might help the channel grow even quicker, that's where I want to take this. And I've worked pretty hard at trying to get some people with names on the channel, and I think it will happen in 2023. So look, just stay positive, guys, and yeah, that's my biggest thing. The channel growth.
I know who those people are that Brad's talking about, so you guys need to stay tuned because this is no bull crap. Who Brad's talking to, yeah, will be monumental for what we do here. So cross fingers, everybody. Cross fingers. Rock Professor and I know who Brad is talking about, and obviously we can't discuss that here, but we don't bullshit. This is true.
Yeah. So that's my biggest one for 2023 is, we're talking about the channel and us guys that are contributing to the channel every week, and I want to see the channel grow because we deserve it. That's
Thank
what
you.
Yeah.
Well, the top on my list is, and I said it last year, it was the top of my list last year, and it was new music from Brad. And Brad said that he hoped that he wanted to do new music, and he was on schedule for doing new music, and we all know what happened to Brad. And so the fact that Brad had to, as we've just heard, make some changes in his life, and he still kept part of us, his family that he has here with us, as part of him continuing and keeping something was always, a pleasure and an honor for us, wasn't it, Simon, that, that he was going to come back and hang out with us. We know that Brad laid down some tracks early at the beginning of the year. We know that because he said that he had, so I don't know anything about Brad's music, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't told us about any projects that he's working on musically, but I just have to say, the fact that you're gigging, bro, and out there in front of, hundreds of people is obviously always a cool thing. John ZZZD3351 is just going yes. Your but mate, it'll happen. It'll happen. When it happens, it'll happen. I have absolutely no doubt that when it does happen, it will be good. No pressure on you, bro, but it's a hopeful thing.
No, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. I really do. That's it's just another little thing to keep pushing me. It's that yes. Yeah. No, I appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you. My heart's full. So thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, the good thing is, Brad, your stroke didn't extinguish the creative spark.
No,
still there, still burning.
Yep, still there.
That's good. That's fantastic.
No.
Looking forward to that. They are 2023, the year of recording.
Yes.
Rock Professor.
So, for me, my number one was clearly the growth of the channel. To further what we're doing and things, try and get to a bigger audience and things, get past the magic 10K subs mark and things. So keeping the quality going, keeping the focus going. We know what we do. We know how it works. Continuing to get cool guests on and having that mixture. That's definitely one of my major look forwards for 2023.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Simon, because that was what I picked too. So
Oh well, yes, yeah. No, well, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, major
Yeah.
central part of the the channel is to try and get more people to to watch and grow our audience and things. Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think if I'm correct, once you hit 10,000K, it opens up more avenues for you as well, Andrew. Like you get more exposure on YouTube and things like that. Does that sound right?
It's from the research I've done. Yes, reaching 1,000 was a big milestone for a channel. It's a big milestone, and the next one, from watching other YouTube channels that talk about this kind of stuff, 10,000 is the next one where they bump you up in the scheme of things. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. It's my turn.
Yes, it's your turn, bro.
Well, John ZD351, it's time to fly again. My second one is for 2023 is to write more songs. I want to write the best material I can possibly write, and I'm planning on releasing something in 2023. And that's a big part of who I am. And I haven't actually had the opportunity to perform any of my music live. So 2023 is going to be hopefully a good year with a new release. I've got some songs I'm demoing and whatnot. I have good and bad days of playing, so I'm trying to, on my good days, press the record button. So yeah.
Wow. Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching a replay and you want to know what Brad is doing, stay tuned. Make sure you've subscribed and go and subscribe to Brad's channel, because any musical project that he's going to do, he's gonna break it here.
Yeah.
It's going to happen here. So
he'd better.
yeah, better.
Hey, Ronnie.
He's going to go on his own channel and do it. Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, you're out of the band, Ronnie.
Yeah, right. You're fired.
I'm going to link my next two. My next hopefuls I'm going to link two together, because they're different subjects, but it's the same thing. I want reissues or remasters, clearly from the Van Halen community. And Brad and Simon, I want to get those get back outtakes that they were talking about, and the other footage, So we got the official footage, remember, from that's on Disney. But, they were talking about, they got hours more of it.
Yeah. Just on that subject, Andrew, in the Beatles store I'm just looking at the American one. There for the 22nd of December. No, wait a minute. 25th of December, 2022, i.e. Sunday. There will be a 3 DVD set, 3-disc DVD packaging. Approximate running time 458 minutes. Which is
thank you God,
8 hours 8 hours of that, and that is the Peter Jackson documentary.
Thank you God for listening to my prayers.
Cool. Doesn't the doco go for about 6 hours? The one that was on Disney.
458 hours is 8 hours, isn't it?
Wow.
7 hours of
7.5 hours.
So it's the outtakes. Okay, so guess what I'm doing after the show? Let's get the show quickly over and done with. Okay. Bye. See ya. Bye.
John had it right. John, well done, John. You spotted it and showcased it. It is that. That's right. So
So Rock Professor. So I've combined two. So
I'm going to
yeah.
combine two as well because
Okay.
they're the two halves of the same thing. In March, I'm going on a That Pedal Show Experience Day with Mick and Dan from That Pedal Show. As it's pretty well.
Are you going to
they're
be a
in
roving
Frome.
reporter?
I'm going to be a roving reporter. I'm going to try and do something while I'm there for sure. A little something for the channel. I'll sand it out first to see how they feel about it. But
thank you.
Do some of that. And in October, I'm going back to Italy.
Guitar breaks
with a guy called Mike Bradley. I'm sure you've come across Mike.
I know Mike Bradley. Mike Bradley's outstanding. He's an English guy. He's a Clapton nut. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Well, he's one of the people on there. He's one of the pros on this, and the other one is Andy Guitar.
Oh,
who's got
another pro
2.85 million subscribers on YouTube. So I should be picking his brains about YouTube for sure. So that'll be really exciting. Yes, that's the end. That's October. I'm going for that. So I'm a week in Italy, October, playing my guitar, and a day on the TPS experience at the end of March, which is going to be great fun.
Wow.
Yeah. There's some really cool stuff going on actually, and especially the guitar break stuff. As you can go and do like 1 day things as well with an American guy called Pete Friesen, who's played with Alice Cooper a lot. And he does like these 1 day jam camps where you just go for a day and play, which sounds fantastic. So so I'm looking forward to all of that in 2023.
Beautiful. Well, it's my next one.
Yes, brother.
So, I touched on this on my last one. A release, a new release from myself, and then 2023, I'm going to be performing live with my own material, and I'm going to put together. I've already got a band. I think I've got a drummer on the wing ready to go, and I think I've got a bass player ready to go, and so hopefully, the biggest thing I can think of for myself as a musician in 2023, yes, is my friend Philip Sace is coming to Australia in August, and I'm hoping that I could be at least get up and play with him on stage. But I'm pushing to try and get a support act with Philip Sace. So I'm prepared to get my ass handed to me every night after watching him play. But I'll give it a go. I'll be his opening support act, no problem, if he can. So I need everyone on the channel to put all the good vibes out there and send all the positive energy out there to the universe so that it all falls into place. It'd be wonderful myself as a working blues rock sort of guitarist. Just for me, even just to get up and jam with him. I mean, if he comes, he said he'll try and organise getting me to sit in with his band. But I put my hand up and said, I'll do the support all through Australia. I'll do it. So that happens, and that's something I'm looking forward to in 2023.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, fingers crossed for that, for sure.
Yes. Yes. Andrew.
My second to last thing, guys, is I really would like Mark Lewisham to come on the channel and let us know that he's going to be releasing the long-awaited volume 2 of the Beatles Tune In that we've been waiting. How many years, Simon?
It's about 8 years or something, is it? 8?
2013 this came out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. Yeah, 10 years next year. Yes, anniversary time.
Yeah. Don't die before you release volume 2 or 3, please, God. Don't.
Can you imagine the horror? Yes.
Please, Mark. We love you, but if you want to come on and hang out with the Rock Professor and Brad and I and talk about the Beatles, you're more than welcome to as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll figure out all that. Yes. My second to last thing is I bought this for myself, a pedal board.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
it was
I'm going to do lining up with my TPS experience day, that pedal show experience day. I'm going to be putting together. I've got some pedals, but I don't really use them. And I thought, I got some. Well, the truth of it is, I got a reward from work. I got like a financial reward from work. So I thought, I've been looking at this for a while because I got some pedals over there, and I thought, I'm going to make a pedal board.
Good.
So I've got a pedal board and I've got a power thing, maybe first week in January, and I've got the first week in January. I thought I'm going to sit down and start putting it together, seeing what else I might need, which is the TPS experience day lining up. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, well, we look forward to updates on that too as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Simon, if you want to send some video to me when you're doing that, so that we can put that on the channel.
Right.
And the same with you too, Brad. If you want to do that as well, when you go through fiddling about with your board, if you want to take some, short video clips and a couple of minutes, nothing more than a couple of minutes, because then it's easier to share with me, rather than having to go through files and stuff like that, and we can put it on the channel.
100%.
If you guys want.
Sounds good.
Might be a good idea.
Sounds like a plan. Well, we're up to our last one, guys, for 2023, what we hope for 2023. And mine's a collaborative thing. It's just continued growth with my personal relationships and business relationships and just building a community based around this channel, my music, and just people that are like-minded souls like we are on this channel. So something that I'm very interested in doing is sharing as much as I can moving forward on this channel, like musically. And when I say personal growth with my personal relationships, obviously I mean my partner and my son and my family and my close friends, but I also mean with people I've met through this whole period for the last 12 months where I've been doing recovery and stuff. People that have reached out, people that I've admired for so long that have started talking to me on personal level and stuff like that. Continued growth with those sort of relationships, and with the channel, people getting more people like-minded on this channel and growing that community. So that's pretty much one of my big things for 2023 is not just, all my personal relationships, my what I call my music association relationships as well, and the channel relationships, building with other channels that are like-minded to us, maybe. Building those relationships with maybe a couple of the guests we're getting on next year, so Andrew and Simon. Even just them to talk about our channel would help our channel as well. But that's not what we're doing. We want their expertise on our channel, which will be part of what I'm saying. That building that those relationships with those people. So
well said.
Fantastic,
Wonderful. Wonderful
good
thought.
personal goal. Yeah, lovely, Brad. My last one is again following on.
Andrew.
Sorry, Andrew. Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Don't leave the boss man now. He'll show up on the show.
I'm panicking because I've got 8 minutes till I've got to be on a business call.
Okay, all right. I'll go quickly. I promise this year I got shit the other night, ladies and gentlemen, from my co-host. Everybody in the world has 5150 guitar picks except for my co-hosts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give. I'm going to do it. I'm going to send Brad at least 10. I'm going to send 10 to Simon so that Simon can give out some to the people in the UK and at least keep one for himself. And I'll do the same thing. I'll send some to you too, bro, and you can give some out too. my apologies, but you guys gave me shit, and I deserved it, and I took it.
Nothing we enjoyed more than giving you a load of jip.
And everybody loved pulling their 5150 picks out too, didn't they? They rubbed it in, didn't they?
Yes,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, rubbing salt in the wounds. You know what? Simon,
your friends and colleagues know last in the queue.
The one good thing, Simon, right,
dear.
is I think Andrew deliberately does things like this so we do give him shit because the people listening love us giving him shit. So yeah.
Oh dear,
So that's going to happen.
We look forward to it.
Thank you, Simon.
But in the meantime, we can still give. No, anyway. Yeah. So my final thing is gigs, both playing them and going to see some.
Yes.
More gigs.
Yeah.
Really, some cool stuff coming up this year, and still. And we've got some band gigs as well. We're coming up, and we're now a 3-piece, not a 2-piece. So that'll be interesting. Yes, we have 2 guitars and a bass, and a drummer in a small box.
Cheers, Robert.
Yeah, cheers, Robert. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you next year. Yeah. So that's my last one for this year is gigs, in a word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think the famous 5 list show was pretty good, even if I must say so myself.
Myself, yes.
We had, as usual, we always have a few laughs. And look, ladies and gentlemen, as Brad said, and Simon's been saying for long, if you're not having laughs along the way,
what are we doing? Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I know that time is pushing on. The Rock Professor's going to. This is, always an important time of the year for family and friends to get together. Christmas, wherever you are, be safe, be happy, eat lots of food if you like food, like me. If you like drinking, drink lots of things, but don't get into any fights.
No
Why
violence.
do you always talk about scuffles and fights, Andrew?
Because clearly that's what happens in New Zealand.
That's what you do in your free time. You knock a few back and you go and do this to a few blokes.
Oh.
Then you go home.
Mate, in the old days, I don't drink anymore, but in the old days, in the old days, mate, the demon liquor, the demon
brothers,
liquor.
yes. Oh dear. Yeah.
Rock Professor, and do you want to say something?
I'll just say something. Yes,
and then we'll pass it on to Brad, and we'll boogie.
Yeah, I'd like to say firstly, thank you to you, Andrew, for all your work with the show, with the channel, and everything like that. Driving us along, being the creative director of it. It's a fantastic experience doing this, and hats off to you for doing all of that. Publicly, you deserve massive credit for pushing us along and keeping it all rolling, and doing those great interviews and stuff. Somehow you pull them out. You know how to ask a question, get out the way, and let somebody answer. And I think it's those things are valuable and valued by me and Brad for sure.
Appreciate it.
So I'd like to say thank you to all the people in the chat who always come every week. So John Z.D. Adam Cross, Greg Zeppelin, Arvin, of course, Nelson Rodriguez, Ellen, Brad's mum. Lots of other people that I'm going to forget because I'm rushing. But Tim Thomas, Robert Ranford, all the guys who come regularly every week. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who's watched. Over the year, it's been a fantastic. We're going towards 250,000 views on the channel, and that's a major 250,000 views. It's an amazing sort of figure to me that so many people watch. So thank you to everyone, and thank you to Brad as well, my co-host, mate from across the world.
Yes.
We will meet one day. I've got
One
18
day.
months left of work, and then I'm coming.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yes.
No, no, I'll just echo what you said, Simon, about Andrew. Yeah, you're amazing what you've done, for the channel. When you do interview people, I don't think many people realize how sort of how much work you put in behind the scenes to get the interview across the line. But then once you do it, you're just so natural with it. I mean, I have to plan what I'm going to ask. I have to think a little bit more. You just ask the right questions. You do it so free and easy. And well done, Andrew, for the growth of the channel. A lot of it lays very heavily on you, mate. And like Simon said, that's a massive pat on the back for you. So you should take that, mate. Take it. And Simon, same to you. The Rock Professor, the Rock Professor of the show, and the troublemaker. So you like to stir up the trouble a little bit, which is good. And it's a happy family here. And Merry Christmas to you both, and to Hoss as well. If you're watching later, Hoss, Merry Christmas. I know you've had a busy year. So, you've been missed a lot on the channel, but you're still part of it. So we're, and, most of all, to everyone in the chat, I won't mention everyone's names, but you know who you are. The people that are here usually every week that aren't here, the people that subscribed, people that have been around on the channel longer than I have, and then the people that are new, you are all welcome. And thank you so much for being a part of an amazing year. Andrew.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother. We've got Nelson in the chat. Thank you for all your support that you give us, Nelson. You've been a great friend of the channel. You've shared our links too. I know you have. You've got us on board. So thank you for the nice words, guys. We didn't get an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to attach this video to the last one that we did, the Christmas show. I know it's a firm favourite, but we have to have this on the record here for the channel. It's a firm favourite. Brad's going to play us out. We're going to catch you guys later. Be safe. Keep out of trouble.
Hope it doesn't flag it.
It's a part 1 and a part 2, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go.
Now it's time for Brad's Tech and Tone Tips.